Hi, welcome to DC Fan Gives Hope. So, if you've read my last one, I've got 5 minutes now to talk about what's going through my mind. So, I was approached by one of the guys, and he gave me a wee clip of people that was talking about this Film Gub, and I myself had heard about Film Gub, and he's a fellow Scot. Excuse me, and. He was Collider's even heard of him now. You know, he's big. He's got a lot of fans and stuff like that. But the one thing, you know, and some people called him a troll and everything, and I don't believe he is. Like, I mean, and I don't think he's biased in any way. He just talks about what he loves. And if he thinks something is wrong or whatever, he'll go and shove your own words back against it. You know, so if you're talking about Collider and how sort of, my opinion, they kiss ass to a lot of Marvel stuff and it comes to Star Wars and then you've got John Campea that I used to be a big fan of, but I got wise too, and you know, same as I did with Kevin Smith. But what he does is he doesn't just sit there and makes, you know, and talks about it. What he does, he actually gets footage from them or sound bites, you know, of them talking about a subject, and then he goes and proves why he's making the mockery of them. And it's basically, you know, so if somebody says, "Oh, I love that film, I've always said that," then he'll show a clip of them saying the total opposite, and that is why it's. So I don't, you know, and then he's creative enough to make a wee robot, a different voice. You know, he's got a couple of characters. It's all him, and each character has this sort of aim or agenda to make that video. I mean, I believe he's seen Justice League. I haven't seen what he thought about it because I believe he didn't like it, so I knew I wasn't. And that's precisely what you do. You know, you can't just not follow somebody just because one video they decide not to do it. It's whether you like that person themselves. But you can't, for me, call him a troll, because a troll is somebody that's just out of the way making that, and he's not. He's basically taking footage of what the actual person said. He's taking news clips from websites, you know, and comic book sites or whatever, and he's showing you the evidence. You know, he's showing you fans' reaction, and he you know, so he might even, I'm not big enough, but for instance, he might make a video of me one time and show how, you know, I might say something one time and then contradict myself later on, and I'll put my hands up. Well, that's what I says, you know. So that's all he is, and I wish there were probably a lot more people like him. And as I say, once he says something you don't like, just don't watch the video, you know. But I wouldn't go out my way and unsubscribe. You know, I can. So the next thing I want to talk about is flops. Right, this will be the last thing. People always talk about has a film flopped, the Justice League flop is it a failure and stuff like that. And for me, there's very, very few films that you would regard as failure. Forget all. Put it in a nutshell. If it's if you like the film, then it's not a failure. If you love the film, it's entertained you, then it's not a failure in your eyes. The only way you can think of a film being a flop or a failure is if it comes out and it doesn't make a profit or hardly anyone's went to see it. You know, so but there's arguments to that as well. So my own personal gain is in a failure is forget about the money, because that's what studios want. It's how many people went to see it and what the audience think. And if the audience love it, then it's not a failure. You know, it might not make the film it might not make the money it was supposed to make, but people loved the film, so it set out and it won its agenda to entertain. So that's my definition of what a failure is. A failure is a film that nobody liked, you know, audience gave it a low score, and it never made a profit. I'll catch you later. It's my 5 minutes up. Thanks.